Welcome to the Media Roundtable. We're talking to leading voices in the podcast business about what they create, why they create it, and the impact that they want it to have on the world. So if you're a member of the media or the marketing community, or you're a podcast listener who just cares about the direction of this country and the messages that you advance, we want to help you feel good about what you consume, what you distribute, and what you support. I'm your host, Dan Granger, and today we are joined by legendary Philadelphia rapper Gillie Da King and social media influencer and disruptor Wallo267. Now, they are first cousins, but they also co-host the weekly smash hit podcast from Barstool Sports called $1 Million Worth of Game. Now, they've had some guests on that you may have heard of before: Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Mike Tyson, Alicia Keys. The list keeps going. And the show bridges the gap between social media and reality TV, satiating the hunger for original and authentic content. And they have assembled a following of over 1.3 million followers. So we're honored to have them here today. You guys have had this show for a couple of years. Can you give a little backstory on how it came to be?
Well, what happened is years ago on Instagram, my cousin used to have a thing called $1 Million Worth of Game, Gil, whereas though he would talk about, people were asking him, DM him asking questions, and he'd give him $1 million worth of game. So over the years, once I came home from prison, over the years, people used to see us together and always be like, y'all need to start a podcast. Y'all need to start a podcast. So in 2019, that's what we did. We just started it. We didn't know too much about the podcast industry, but we learned as time went on, but we just went right at it.
And what did you guys do to actually build up your following? Because you've had a huge rise in listenership. You've had a lot of influence in a very short period of time. How did you build that up? We
built it up because we're organic, we're real. It's not a scripted show. It's not a corporate show. It's a real human being show ran by two, we got a real company ran by two human beings, me and my cousin, and we make the human connection with real people in real time.
So Gillie, you had a long career as a performer, as a creator. What was it like making the transition from making music to this spoken word product?
I like to call it GAME, which is guidance, attention, motivation, and education. Really, I just felt as though I knew that, the kids from the urban ghettos of America, I'm somebody that they look up to. I'm somebody that they respect. I'm somebody that they look as, has street credit. So, if I talk to them, they're going to listen to me opposed to listening to somebody who, don't have the street credit. So I just tried to give them game to keep them out of the penitentiaries and the graveyards.
Would you say that's like really the purpose of the show?
Yes.
Yes, to give game.
So your reach and your influence has cascaded. Has that changed your experience or the way that you do your show in any way as the audience has broadened?
No, I can't say that any of our shows are the same or the same way because none of this shit is scripted. It's all based off of what the person says back to us to where we're going to take it to next. We're not sitting there with a list of questions and it's like, oh, okay, so this and 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 this. We don't really operate like that. We just ask a question and then we ask another question and then that causes a conversation and then we somehow get humor out of that conversation or we somehow get some deep shit out of that conversation to trigger some type of emotion from people. So that's what it's about. We like to make you laugh, think, and cry.
Now, Wallo, so being in prison for 20 years, I read you learned about social media in prison. How did that work? How do you do that?
And then she figured it out through there.
You don't just have a show, but you have a business. You have built a business. Can you describe the business that goes a little bit broader than what we might see when we just turn on a show?
The business is strictly ads. It's about ads. And that's what our whole business is built upon. Me and Evan partnered up with some great companies and advertise their products. That's all it's really about.
Now, I've seen you do some unconventional, the ads are great, as somebody that, we spend over $100 million a year in advertising on behalf of different brands, and we get to see a lot of different executions. And what you guys do is different. Can you describe the way that you approach it in some of the different versions?
The way we're looking at the ad and the way the ad is totally different. And the way we're going to deliver is totally different. We got a unique delivery. We delivering it the way we would deliver it, or like the way we would like to hear it. or the way, you know, we feel as though people would like to hear it. And it's not all turned up and, you know, a bunch of all this extra stuff.
It's not an ad when it's with us.
Yeah.
So when you think about the right kind of advertisers for the show, what kind of brands do you want in the show? And are there certain kinds that don't make sense or that you don't want to be affiliated with?
I mean, there really haven't been too many advertisers that we have to turn down because, you know, as of right now, we got like 32 of them. You know what I mean? So, you know, from Harry's Razors to, you know, a bunch of shit, Manscaped, you know, Roman Swipe, you know, Showtime Sports, Amazon Music. So, you know, and the list go on and on. So for us, it's like, you know, how you say it, we could sell shit to a diarrhea ass on the toilet. Yeah. We could sell shit to a diarrhea ass on the toilet.
I've seen the work. So one of the things that I notice that you do for brands that I don't see in other places is in some cases you will actually sit and interview the entrepreneur. Can you talk about how that came to be? Because I feel like that is a very untraditional way of doing it, but probably very effective.
Yeah, because a lot of times we be trying to help our audience. So we get entrepreneurs that's able to give out guides and ebooks and courses that can help them become like the entrepreneur. Because everybody want to, you know, is looking to be an entrepreneur out here. So why not bring the people that's winning in these fields, these varieties of fields, and get them to educate our fan base?
One of the guys we brought on, his name Him 500, and he taught everybody how to fix their credit right from home. So now you go on there, you fix your credit. Now you know how to fix people's credit. So now we had a nephew who was 17 at the time, and he watched that episode, and now it's a year and a half later, and he's fixing everybody's credit, and he has a Benz, and he has very good credit himself, and he has his own business. You know, we see people that's out and about that's like, oh, yeah, we got into the truck, and after we seen the episode with Alex, and yeah, man, I went out and I got me a truck. So we understand that this shit's really working and really educating our people and really giving people an opportunity to understand that if you hustle in this way and you hustle in this way and you hustle in this way, well, you can hustle this way right here and make money for yourself and bet on yourself. So that's what we like to do.
Now, when you get all of these high performing, successful people that you're having these conversations with and they're giving advice, but then sometimes you're taking and breaking down their advice. Has there been anything that you have learned from your guests that has changed the way that you conduct your business?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, even right now, one of the people that we brought on is now we developed a relationship with him. And, you know, he helped us get our Platinum American Expresses and, you know, business loans. And so, you know, it was even beneficial to us.
Okay. Now I've seen, you know, in your show that you'll put people on the spot and ask them their top 5 performers. I want to put you guys on the spot and ask you your top 5 guests. Who do you feel like has had the biggest impact on your audience? Or what's been the best show? What is your top 5?
For me, it would be Lil Durk.
Mm-hmm.
It would be King Von. It would be Pooh Shiesty. It would be Young Thug. And Kevin Durant.
Okay. How about you, Wallo?
Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather.
Uh-huh.
Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. Pooh Shiesty, Young Thug, probably Jay Prince.
What do you feel like makes a good guest? What gets them on that list for you?
That's somebody that's willing to talk.
Do you think that's hard for people to do when they have a public image and then, you know, they come into a conversation and you want them to be vulnerable? Is that a hard thing to do?
No, it's not hard to be human. You know, we're just asking you to be human, you know, and you know, maybe sometimes in being human, you got to let people know you ain't perfect. That's cool. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? So maybe and sometimes being human, you have to say, yeah, I've been hurt before. Yeah, a guy broke my heart before. Yeah, a girl broke my heart before. Yeah, I cried before. That's cool. We all human. We all cried before. But that's why we get the stories that nobody else get. You're never going to hear Snoop Dogg on nobody else's podcast saying that a gang member slapped him in the head with a bottle when he ran 2 blocks, and then his head swelled up like a rhinoceros. And then he walked back 2 blocks walking ginger, and he didn't want no get back with the guy. He just wanted to get home. So, we get the best stories from the best people, because when they come to us, they don't got to worry about a landmine being set. They don't got to worry about stepping into no traps. We just come and we just give people the authentic in the you. We want to know how you was brought up, how you was raised, things that you went through in life, We don't do the typical interview. That's how we look at shit. And if you don't want to come interview with us, that's fine.
All right, so tell me if you've ever heard of any of these companies. Indeed, Shopify, NetSuite, Headspace, Quip, Theragun, Postmates. I'm not only the host of the Media Roundtable, but also CEO of a company called Oxford Road, and we are the world's leading independently owned and operated audio ad agency. And what that means is that we help great companies, many that you have probably heard of on some of the other podcasts that you listen to. We help them test and scale campaigns in audio channels, with podcast being one of those leading channels. Some of the work that we do includes media planning and buying, as well as analytics, attribution, and insights. And we also have a very special way that we deal with creative and copy generation. We have our own proprietary process called Audiolytics that allows us to score ads for their persuasiveness. If you're looking to be involved in audio and you want a partner that can help work with you to make sure that you achieve unprecedented ROI and massive scale, you should get in touch with us at Oxford Road. And by the way, the only reason that we're able to do the work of the Media Roundtable is because we have a great team at Oxford Road that supports us and makes it possible. So, what we're doing is not just a podcast, but we're really trying to help brands live out their values and balance that with their business objectives, which is an increasingly hard thing to do in this world of misinformation and malice that's infecting so much of our media. But at Oxford Road, we don't want to just broker this stuff. We want to impact the industry for good. We want to raise the bar on what gets created. And Oxford Road is helping make that possible through the Media Roundtable. So if you're somebody that's interested in working with an ad agency or a partner on this type of work for your advertising campaigns, go to oxfordroad.com. It's easy to spell. And get in touch with us, or at least just sign up for our free newsletter, The Influencer. That's oxfordroad.com. So let me ask you guys a question. Speaking of getting more vulnerable. So using myself as an example, I'm somebody that grew up listening to a lot of hip hop. I still listen to a lot of the performers that you've had on your show. Okay. But in the last few years, I feel like, myself included, but many of us have had a different kind of consciousness about how we deal with race, how we think about race, how we talk about race. And it can be confusing if you are somebody that has been a fan of that community, that has found things that you identify with in that music, and yet we are not the same. We do not have the same experience in many ways, and in many ways that we do. So how do you talk to your white fans about how they can not be exploitative or not culturally appropriate, but still identify and connect with the content?
A lot of times, you just got to be you. Can't overthink this shit.
Right. For me, I don't care if you're white, black, blue, brown, purple, pink. If I wrote some shit, I wrote some shit for the fans. Yeah, you may have never grew up in the ghetto, but you made some type of connection with my music, and you get an experience when you listen to my music. So for me, I don't judge nobody in this hip hop game based off of color or based off of any of that shit. If I wrote the shit, you can rap the shit. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Because even when I'm saying the word nigga, I'm saying my homies. I'm not saying nigger. I'm saying me and my niggas. That's my homie. That's my man. Or you niggas tripping. None of this has a racial tone to it. So me personally, I don't expect nobody to turn this into no racial shit. No artist ever went into the studio with the intent of, when I rap this shit, white people can't sing it. Brown people, or only black people can sing it. No, artists don't even think like that. That's not the mentality of an artist. You want everybody to sing your shit.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of people, specifically white people, that are lecturing the culture and making up rules that they may not even have the authority to make up.
They can't speak on. A lot of people can't speak on behalf of certain people of us. A lot of times, nobody pay attention to that shit.
What do you think the culture is getting wrong right now?
I mean, I think the culture is flourishing. I think hip hop is like in the top of music right now. So I don't really think.
Oh, I'm not saying the hip hop culture. I'm saying culture, period. I think we have all seen a big shift in the last couple of years. Things are changing. The rules are changing for everybody. It doesn't matter what color you are. You guys know that too.
I think people's getting too sensitive.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think freedom of speech has been taken away. I think everybody's too sensitive. I think, everybody, you make one mistake and you're over, this shit's just, you say one thing somebody don't like, now you're canceled. So to me, it's all a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's like, people always had opinions, and everybody's allowed to feel how they want to feel when they want to feel it. That's their opinion. That's cool. But now people are not allowed to feel how they want to feel because this certain group of people are offended, and this certain group of people are offended, and this certain group of people are offended, and they're offended over here about this, and you said something about you was playing with a joke about a dog. Okay, now the animal people are offended. And it's just so, it's like everybody's so sensitive in 2022. That is unbelievable, man. Can't even be a comedian anymore.
Yeah. So, corporations, I think, have a lot of influence, but I don't think they necessarily know how to deal with it. Because they'll try to do whatever the safest thing is, right? And a lot of times the safest thing is to cancel people, is to back away with somebody that's made a statement that was received the wrong way. Mm-hmm. What advice do you give to brands and to marketers who are dealing with that, knowing that they've got to balance trying to make everybody not be mad at them, but also that they need to support speech? Like, what words of wisdom do you have for them?
I mean, I just deal with people as being people, even at, at Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy went through some things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And,
Dave always go through some shit.
But Dave been good to us.
He makes the talent look really safe all the time. He gives everybody cover.
But we know the person that we deal with. You feel what I'm saying, on a daily basis. So, we understand that people make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we not here to judge nobody for no mistakes that they made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Because at the end of the day, that's not my job. That's God's job.
It really is. So,
You know what I mean? So for us, we just regular human beings who understand that human beings make mistakes and everybody's not perfect. And I'm not here to judge you, but apparently, you get judged out here for making mistakes.
Yep.
Well, and, Wallo, you did a TED Talk. You've done a couple of them that I saw. And you talked about this. You talked about forgiveness. Now, not everybody that's going to hear this has heard that. Can you state your position that you put out in that talk?
I forgave my brother's killer. And I was just talking about forgiveness. Everybody want to be forgiven, but nobody really want to truly forgive. So that's what we was talking about. I was talking about in that. And just, it was hard pill to swallow, but I had to do it in order to grow, in order to let go of yesterday so I could see tomorrow.
Okay, so I'll get to one more question, but I just want to say I think it's an important message because media has impact. Media changes people's behavior. It influences people. And I think we have a forgiveness problem in this country, and you guys have been talking about that. And I think those of us that are helping direct the money can make an impact by supporting messages where we can't accept each other, even though we're different backgrounds, different mistakes. And I think it's not just a personal thing. It's a business decision as well. And I think you guys are demonstrating with the work that you do that can be a good business and it can be good for people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the last thing I want to ask you is just tell us what's next. What with your business, where are you taking this thing to? Because you got a lot of momentum right now. You got a lot of reach and a lot of info.
We ready to start grabbing the people under us, man. It's ready to be a big network, man. Me and our Redefining network is ready to get big. We're gonna be grabbing people, man. That a lot of people on the top level that can't see, can't feel because they're not dealing with the bottom like us. So we ready to pull a lot of people up, on the network side.
Or well, listen, on the advertising side, like you said, it's all about advertising. So if we can be a part of helping you expand that and getting your message out to the advertising community, I hope that we can keep in touch.
Yes, we can do
absolutely.
That.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys taking time out to talk to us. I hope we talk again.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, thank you.
Just talk soon.
Okay.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
This show is dedicated to our mission of mobilizing marketers to advance truth and civility in journalism. We value clarity, truth, fairness, respect, de-escalation, and tolerance. If you like what you hear, we'd love to help spread the word. So please remember to share, review, and invite others to join the movement. We love your feedback. And you can also shoot us your comments and questions at MediaRoundtable.com. And if you're a marketer looking to balance your business objectives with your brand values, reach out to our agency. It's called Oxford Road. Just go to oxfordroad.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter, The Influencer. Special thanks to Bianca, Kyle, Jennifer, Amy, Jacqueline, and the team at Podcast One. And as always, influence responsibly.